The Exorcist believer, guys. Let's get right to it. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680. And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. If you have not already, be sure to like, share, subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. Hit that subscribe and hit that little bell notification to get notified for our movie reviews in this case. And without further ado, guys, movies like this to get us ready for the spooky season. I'm truly excited. I'm ecstatic. It's about to be fall here in Texas, even though it's still 90 something degrees, guys. I believe today was 96, 97, and this is our fall. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's still quite a bit away until cold front hums.
Yeah, which we're getting a small little cold front. Yeah, small, very little.
Abnormal cold front a little bit. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is still officially spooky season. October is well underway.
Yeah.
A lot of good things happening this month. And so one of the things we're talking about is one of our highly anticipated films. We were looking forward to this film for a long time, ever since they announced they were coming out with it. So we are reviewing The Exorcist Believer.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Exorcist Believer tells of a story when two girls disappear into the woods and return 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them. The father of one of the girls seeks out Chris McNeil, who's been forever altered by what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. So obviously reading off this IMDb, right, it actually has this strong connection to the OG, which is the 1973 The Exorcist. We actually just got done talking about that on a live podcast. Be sure to check that video out if you have not already, our live horror podcast where we talked about, we put competition with Trey and Christian with the Nerds Coliseum guys, which we collaborated with them. So it was a really good show. The episode's a little about an hour and a half. Sorry about that, but it's a lot of good stuff in there.
And I do recommend
checking that. Yeah,
we had such a good time
here at the studio. I do recommend checking that out. But without further ado, this film, I gotta say, I went in with no expectations in here. I really did. I went in like, okay, you know what? It's Exorcist movie. We kind of know what to expect in a way, but at the same time, though, the trailers kind of were just like, they had me sold on it, right? Because I mean, it's an exorcism movie, and everything. And just sometimes those movies are not for everybody, and that's fine. That's fair enough, right?
And also the added one of it's basically revamping the 1973 franchise.
Yeah.
But
it's a reboot, but not a remake. A reboot of that universe connects, right?
Right. So it has high expectations because it's been, I know we talked about this in the podcast, but it's been 50 years since the 1973 version came out, and that was such a hit.
Yeah.
I remember my dad would say that whenever that came out, people started watching it in theaters at the time. People were like, that was the scary movie of the time. People walked out. They could not deal with that because it was just so terrifying. And to this day, it still has that same effect. So you have a lot of pressure when you remake or you kind of touch movies like that. It's such a classic, right?
Yeah.
So I had a lot of high expectations as far as like, if they're going to redo this and you say connect it, it has to be done right.
Yeah.
Was I a little skeptical going into it? Yeah, I was, because, as we've seen in the past, movies that they tend to revisit, reboot, like whatever.
Yeah. They're not always good.
Always as good as the original.
I would probably say a percentage-wise, it's probably going to be about like 30%.
Right. Yeah. So I was a little skeptical going in.
Yeah.
Now, my reaction to this was, did I hate this movie coming out of the theater? No, I didn't.
Okay.
But did I love it? And I would say no, I did not either.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It did have some connection to the 1973 version. I love how they brought back the same actress, Ellen Burstyn. But
yeah, that was really cool.
That was so cool.
Cool connection.
But I think...
I mean, we see her in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. We see her in the trailer.
We see her in the trailer. But I wish it would have been scarier, maybe. It was very story-driven, which I do appreciate that they had to set it up. But this was more like a setup movie for me.
See, okay, so, I feel like we watched two different movies because I feel like I didn't get any set. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest here. And that's the thing, too, is that I never go in with hating or want to hate on any movie. I expect every movie... I go in with like no expectations. I usually am satisfied to least to say, but I wanted to enjoy this movie. But there's so, like, I'm gonna tell you this, guys. I know you could take this as a spoiler because people have been asking me, they've been commenting on our post, and I gotta say, are there scary parts in the trailer? They've been asking me that. Yes, they are. All the scary parts are in the trailer. I'm sorry, guys.
And
You're gonna find out. And I kind of want to prepare you for that. But needless to say, I don't want to dog on a movie. I don't want to say this movie is shit. It's crap. I never want to do that. I don't.
You always do that for Thor: Love and Thunder.
But this movie, oh my God, I didn't hate it. I just did not like it. I didn't get anything out of this movie. There was some, I got to get credit when it's due, right? The only thing, there was really cool connection to the original version. And then also we got Olivia O'Neill and Lydia Jewett, who actually played little girls. I thought they did a good job. For me, it wasn't the actors or the actress. For me, it was so much plot holes in this story that we're not going to get into here because it's spoilers. But there's a lot of explanation that needs to happen. But at the same time, though, this is on record to be a franchise. So I kind of feel like maybe I'll get an answer the next one. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. A lot of the movie logic, same problem I have with Star Wars logic too. It's just like, how can this make sense after all the stuff you've learned if you knew certain things? And regardless needs to say whether you're religious or not, a lot of the stuff does not make sense on some degree, but then it makes just like a cheesy outcome out of it. And I did not like that. One of the things I wish they would have done a lot more of is the makeup. Now they did do a few stuff. They did. I gotta be honest, they did. But I wish they would have relied a little bit more on the makeup artists. I get it's expensive and everything. It's more expensive. The CGI in here, there is some CGI obviously in here, and it's just poorly done. I did not like the CGI. And what I come just to found out today, by the way, Angela, guess what I just found out? Universal Pictures paid $400 million for this project.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for the rights to make this movie.
That's interesting because, so for me, I got to disagree with you on certain things. I like the makeup on the girls, especially like the cuts and the wounds and the way it was. I wish they would have explained a little bit more.
Well, that's why I said,
about certain things.
Exactly. There's just a lot of open-ended plot holes that I really didn't like. With the double possession too. You got to remember, with the double possession, I was like, okay, double possessions means double the freaking scares, in my mind. So yes, I went in with no expectations of, with franchisees, anything with Star Wars, right? I'm just trying to get it relatable as possible. But you tend to kind of relate to be like, okay, is it going to be as good as the OG? Nothing will be as good as the OG. I got to be honest here. Or there is that rare occasion, right? But most of the time it's not better than the OG. And I got to say, I wanted more of the scares that I got out of here. I wanted way more scares. A film, I talked about in the reaction. We saw a reaction, by the way. I talked about it off camera and on camera. Talk to Me by 824. That is, I got way more creeper. It's way more of a creepy film. It gave me more chills than this movie did.
Yeah, I gotta agree. For being a possession movie, Exorcist movie, we've seen them already a lot. I think the most recent one we saw was the Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah.
So it's not new.
Well, Talk to Me and the Pope's Exorcist was earlier in the year, and then that one. Okay, the Pope's Exorcist. If I'm gonna be totally honest, guys, this is just my point of opinion. If I were to grade both of these films and compare them both by the Exorcism and all that, I would say go watch the Pope's Exorcism at a streaming service because this movie, I don't know if I could recommend this to go see it in theaters.
I do because I think it's still a good film that if you like to be scared, like I said, it's not as scary as I thought it would because you're right, double the possession, you think double the scares. I think some of the more jump scares were not related to the demon or the possession, which is a little disappointing. Yeah, but definitely. I gotta say though, I still really like the cast. I gotta say, so I love Leslie Odom Jr. Love that he was part of this. I don't know if you know where he's from. He's from Hamilton. Yeah. He's from a lot of cool projects. Glass Onion. You have Jennifer Netties. She was from Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, of course.
Ann Dowd, which was the nurse that lives next door. She's from The Handmaid's Tale.
Hereditary.
And then Raphael Sparge, he was the other pastor from the church. He's from Once Upon a Time. So you have a lot of TV actors in here,
which I like.
I looked into it. So the girl who played Angela, which I believe it was Lydia Jewett, she has some credit to her. But the other little girl, Olivia O'Neill, I didn't see anything listed under her. So I think this might be her first role. And for being in their first role and to not have a lot under their belt, these two little girls, I think, did a pretty good job.
Did a good job. It wasn't, like I said, I go back to where it's not the actors. For me, it was a story. It was the outcome of it, and I expected it's kind of hard, right? I say I go in with no expectations, but I go no expectations of other exorcism movies. It's just in your mind, in your mindset, right? I mean, if it's double the trouble, it's double. It's double villain, it's double trouble. That's all I'm saying. But call me crazy, guys. It's just in all reality. In my knowledge of film and everything, I feel like if it's double trouble, it's double the fun, right? I mean, whatever the case, call it whatever you want. But yeah, I gotta say, I expected a little bit more jump scares. The thing that really annoyed me throughout the movie, and I gotta say, one, the CGI, which I already mentioned. Two, was the non-stop random boom, like the random just boom, like just it was just so random, annoying. They overdid it. It was just like you would just hear it randomly, and I'll be like, dude, oh my god, and it would come consistently. But I gotta say though, this is directed by David Gordon Green, and that's the thing, he's known to be executive producer for Halloween Kills and everything, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind those movies. Those my favorite Halloween movies, no, but I don't mind those films. They're all right. But it's just the logic in those movies though that I did not like. But we'll leave it at that for another story there. But yeah, I just did not like this film. I hate to say that, I really do, because I expect to go in with ready for the spooky season. Now, if you just like horror movies in general, go check this out, because this will definitely get you ready for the fall and October season.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is definitely a modern take on it. So I know in the one that came out 50 years ago, it was mainly like about the Catholic Church doing this exorcism. And they really modernized it. I don't want to give away too much. So I got to say, the title's fitting for what they were trying to see, Exorcist Believer. Mm-hmm. But do I think that it missed the mark on a couple things? Sure. Yeah. Could it have been done better? Sure. Oh, yeah. But for what it was, I don't think it was too bad. I agree with you. I think it's a good movie to see for the Halloween season, for the month of October. I think a lot of people will probably like this film. Yeah. Will it stand up against the one that came out 5 decades ago? Probably not, in my opinion. Hell no. I know you had mentioned they're trying to make this into like a trilogy. Yeah. And I'm pretty curious to see where this goes going forward. So what we got and what's next, I'm pretty curious what is coming in the future for this franchise. Yeah,
definitely me too. I'm excited to see what else, because they had to have a plan by spending that kind of money on it. But I mean, hey, I give it to them for having the what do you call it, the creativeness behind it, and I'm all for it. I am for it. Am I going to see the second one? Hell yeah, I'm going to see the second one, even though I did like the first one, because you never know. It might be one of those movies to where Annabelle all over again. Annabelle first one, that one movie sucked. Annabelle Creation, freaking amazing. Like, it's just this could be the movie that happens like that. This could just be like, this we could go back to the drawing board like Warner Brothers did, be like, okay, this is what we messed up on, this is what we did, we're going to take this into account, we're going to change it. Boom. That's what I like about it, And by the way, guys, if you don't know already, this is actually it was my birthday this past week, or a few days ago actually, Monday, and we saw the movie Tuesday. We're recording this Wednesday on October the 3rd, 4th.
So you could see his very lovely Batman balloons, courtesy of Ma.
Yeah, Batman's my favorite superhero, if you do not know that. But yeah, let's get right to it. Was it fun we deserved? I'm gonna say no, but I know you're probably gonna be yes.
I'm a little hesitant. Can I pass?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, rating 1 out of 10, 10 me the highest. With me not saying it, I did not hate this movie. I've seen worse films. I'm not going to lie. I hate to say that. Hobbs and Shaw is one of them, definitely. I got to say, this movie, after seeing this, after really meditating on the picture itself, really meditating on just the whole scare tactics of this, because they are scare tactics. They're meant to jump scares. They're meant to really scare you. The story I did not like on a lot of reasons, but we're not going to get into that on the spoiler part. But I'm gonna have to give this a solid 4.
Okay, and I'm a little bit on the other direction. So aside from like the nitpicking, I enjoyed this film. Was it the best film? No. But I walked away pretty, satisfied with it for what it was. Yeah. I would give it a solid 6 just because I gave it a little bit above average.
Wow.
It was still a good film in my opinion.
I see you.
Yeah. But again, it wasn't the best film, but I still encourage people to try it out.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Maybe you're like, guys, Ryan, Angela, you guys are crazy. What are you talking about? I do recommend seeing this movie if you were already planning to see this. By all means, go ahead. Don't let me rain on your parade. Don't let anybody rain on your parade. Same thing with myself. Just like Angela, Angela likes this movie. She's a high rate. I'm not gonna rain on her parade. She enjoyed it. That's fine. I just didn't like. I just didn't like it for my reasons, for my crazy reasons. Yeah, they call me hater. Hey, Ryan, you're just hating. Oh,
yeah, you're a hater.
I guess
you so. A hater.
They call me a hater. All right, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan 680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady. And
this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Catch you there, guys. Stay safe, and do not forget, like, share, subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. Help us get to 11,000 subscribers, and be sure to stay tuned because we got the podcast full audio coming out. Or if you haven't checked it already, be sure to check out the horror podcast, the horror episode we did, which was about an hour and a half. I don't blame you if you stay on throughout the whole episode, but check out the parts, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.